Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to episode 103 of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist online ranked series. Today I'm going to be showing off a little bit more of my Yosenju Kaiju deck, one of my favorite decks in the game right now. I have to say that recently I don't know why, I don't know what's happened, but I've been really inspired to play this game again and to build just tons and tons of different decks. I've learned so much about how many different mechanics work, how pendulum works, how synchros work. This is one of my favorite decks to play right now that I think really works for the Legacy of the Duelist environment. What I love about Yosenju Kaijus also is this exact same build that you're seeing on screen right now is pretty much viable in the current TCG environment of 2017. I could take this deck right now, go on to Dev Pro or go to a tournament with it, and it would still be exactly the same and still would have pretty much the same results, because the environment between April 2016 that Legacy of the Duelist follows isn't really too different from what the current environment is. All that there is just a couple of more sets and cards which have been released that are more powerful, and therefore the meta has shifted in that direction. Otherwise though, Yosenju Kaijus are really strong, and I've talked about them in detail about what's good about them and why they work so well together. But what I didn't really feel or wasn't really too happy with about the video I put up yesterday was well, sometimes when I'm making these videos, I try my best to show off what these decks can do in their fullest of glory, but sometimes you don't know the quality of the duelist you're going to get. It's random like that. You might get a really good duelist, you might get a really bad duelist, you might get a mediocre one, and it's not always the quality of the duelist that matters. Sometimes it's just about the games that you get, and I feel like I did an okay job of showing what Yosenju Kaiju can do. But more importantly, I feel like I wanted to give them a bit more of a spotlight because they are such a good deck and one of my favourites. Fortunately today I'm playing against John the Bomb 20, a guy who's been on my channel many times, and has been on episodes of Subscriber Showdown many times, and he challenged me to a duel because he wanted to show off his Mermail Atlantean deck, a deck which is very explosive and very powerful, and like Yosenju Kaijus, they haven't really lost any of their strengths. Mermail's Atlanteans is a deck which I've never played before, so my familiarity with the cards is mediocre at best, but I do know roughly what they do, and that is the Atlantean monsters, like Atlantean Dragoons. They have effects which activate when sent to the graveyard, whereas Mermails use water monsters as costs to send cards to the graveyard, and it's the synergy between these two mini archetypes that makes them work so well together. Atlantean Dragoons has effect where when it's sent to the graveyard, it can add water monsters from your deck to your hand. Heavy Infantry had an effect where it can target one face-up card on my side of the field and destroy it. Now fortunately I have no cards on my field, which is really lucky and weird in this situation, because Mermails are so good at wiping the board clean and then going for an OTK. As you can see, he has two big monsters on the field, one with 3,200 attack and one with 2,400 attack. The monster that he has on the field, called Mermail Abyss Megalo, that's equipped with that equipped spell card, has the effects that if I play a spell card during this turn or any time basically, he can negate it with that equipped spell card, and if I don't, then he has a monster that has 800 extra attack. Fortunately, Yosenjus love hand traps, and the hand trap which I just played from my hand to the field was Speedroid Menko. Speedroid Menko is a level 4 monster which I can special summon to the field and turn all my opponent's monsters to defense position. So now, when my opponent's attack stopped in main phase 2, he summons out Mermail Abyss Gyos. Mermail Abyss Gyos is a really strong level 7 water rank monster, and it has the effect that during either player's turn it can negate all cards on the field, except for itself, I believe. That is really strong, and it means that any kind of plays that I do to try and get rid of that card can be stopped quite easily. Fortunately though, I'm playing the hottest trend, I'm playing the hottest card, which are Kaijus, and Kaijus are very effective forms of monster removal. You are giving away a big monster to your opponent, but then you get to special summon one to your side of the field too if you have an extra one in your hand. And so what people normally do is they give away a weak big monster to their opponents, and then they special summon a big one which can attack over it. What's so good about these cards in Yosenjus is that Yosenju Kama 1 can actually bounce the monster you use back from the field to your hand, and it makes it so that you lose no resources whatsoever, yet still retain the ability to get rid of your opponent's monsters. It's such a good card, or such a good little combo in this current meta, where most people are playing decks with tons and tons of big boss monsters that have effects that activate in either player's turn. It's really solid, and Like you can see here, I still have all of the cards that I drew into. I haven't lost a single resource, and yet I've been able to kind of get rid of my opponent's boss monster, and now I'm going to attack directly for big damage and by swarming the field. As you can see there, John the Mom there sent me a message saying how crazy my little play has been. What's so good about Yosenju is that they still get added effects as well. Yosenju can be free, can allow me to search out more Yosenjus, and I'm going to get Kama 1 to my hand. Kama 1 is such an important card. You want to keep on getting this card to your hand as much as possible, and therefore I'm now going to attack with my big monsters, and we're going to do about, in total, about 5,900 life points to my opponent. It's really solid. I love this deck right now. It's just a simple deck to play, and I feel if there are any players that are quite old school, or anyone that's returning from the game who maybe weren't around for the rise of XCs and the rise of synchro decks, this is a deck that they could probably play and pick up and make sense of quite easily, because back in the day it was all about level 4 monsters, and this is a level 4 deck which works really well, plus it has a few other tricks up its sleeves. So what I'm now going to do to wrap up this turn is I'm going to play a rank 4 monster of my own, because I haven't had been able to do enough damage to kill my opponent, and therefore I want to well, let's see, I want to kind of get rid of 2 of my monsters, and therefore shut down any plays that he tries to make in his turn. And so we're going to get rid of my Kama 1, get rid of Menko, because I want to summon that Traptrix for Felsia, one of the best rank 4 monsters in the game, because its effect activates in both players' turn. And like I said earlier, in a monster heavy meta, where people aren't really running spells and trap cards as their back row unless they're really designed to, like Yosenju Demise, people having monsters that can activate in both players' turn or have continuous effects that stun your opponents are really valuable right now. So Traptrix for Felsia is a really good card. Plus, she can get rid of 2 monsters on the field really easily if you play cards like Treacherous Trap Hole. I don't have that in this deck here, but it's something which is a good option if you want to run her in a low trap count deck. My opponent, John the Bomb, has responded though with Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which is a dark hole. It will destroy all monsters on the field. For him though, it's more like a Red Geki because he had no monsters on this field. And then he gets to special summon 2 Kaijus from his deck to the field. So he special summons a Gamma Seal to my field, the weakest of the level 8 Kaijus, or the Kaijus in general, and then summons out, I forgot that one's name. Is it Raiden? It could be Raiden. I forgot his name, but it's the dark one, and it has more attack than my Kaiju does, so he's going to be able to attack over me quite easily. John the Bomb now plays Instant Fusion and goes for the Northern play. Northern box being so amazing as what it is. Northern is just too strong, such a great card, makes Instant Fusion really worth playing. And they've just actually released a brand new monster, which is a level 5 tuner monster that you can special summon with Instant Fusion, making Instant Fusion even more powerful, but that we will talk about more when I get back to playing on DevPro. So now through Northern, my opponent has special summoned a level 4 Atlantean monster, and he won't be able to attack with it, so more than likely he's going to go for a rank 4 play and summon something else out here. So we'll see what he maybe brings out and what he goes for. John the Bomb is someone who I've played against many times, a very good duelist, someone who's played this game as long as I have, and or Legacy the Duelist that is, as long as I have. And yeah, you know, it's really good to see him still playing the game. And yeah, this game is still really fun. I still love Legacy of the Duelist, despite my gripes that I made a few weeks ago about the update. There's still a lot of fun to be had with this game, and I've got so much to learn still from other people. So he summons out Hope Woven Shark, a really excellent rank 4 monster, which has the effect that during battle, it can reduce the attack of all of my monsters by 1,000 attack, and it also has another effect. I think it does some kind of recursion effect when it's destroyed. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up. But I do know it is a really good rank 4 monster which you can use in water decks. Now to wrap up this turn, my opponent has been able to summon Deep Sea Diva. That's a good point. How did he summon Deep Sea Diva? Maybe that's part of Hope Woven's effect. He managed to get Deep Sea Diva to my hand, to his hand, and now he is normal summoning it and brought back out Atlantean Heavy Infantry. And this could be troublesome because he could go for a rank 2 play, or actually he looks like he's going for a synchro play, and the one he's going to go for is Herald of the Arc Light, a very strong level 4 synchro monster. It is a combination of effects. It is Macro Cosmos, so any card that is sent to the graveyard is banished. it is a solemn judgment, so any effects that I use can be negated, and it can also be used for ritual summons, which my opponent isn't going to be doing here. So I actually make a mistake right there. I special summon Gameciel. I was actually trying to get rid of his Herald of Arclight, but that's okay. I was able to special summon it for free, and his Herald of Arclight won't be able to negate that summon at all. Now what is fortunate here is that I'm thinking about maybe swarming the field with my Kaijus, my Yosenjus, but Herald could negate those quite easily. So what I'm going to do is attack Herald and destroy that first. Fortunately, Herald has really weak stats. If it had a little bit more defense, my opponent would have been able to reduce my Kaiju's attack using Hope Woven Shark. So it would have traded, or his defense would have been too high and I would have been able to get rid of it. But fortunately I was. So now I'm going to summon out my Yosenjus without any negation problems to worry about, and think, is there a way which I can clear out my opponent's side of the field? So first of all, well, we're going to have a think about it first. First of all, we are going to summon out Kama 1, of course. Then we are going to bring out Kama 3. Now I'm going to think to myself, how do I do this? How do I get out of this situation? If I bounce his Kaiju, then he can summon it again to my side of the field later on, or he can use it for other plays. If or he can just summon it again to his side of the field if I keep my Kaiju on the field. But if I bounce his Hope Woven, then Hope Woven will have whatever shenanigans it can do. I bounced Hope Woven, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to get rid of that Kaiju. There's a variety of different options in my extra deck here, and the one I decided to go for is Silent Honor Arc. I decided to go for this one just in case my opponent draws into Interrupted Kaiju Slumber again, and that way Silent Honor Arc will be able to protect itself and should be able to stick around for a little bit in case John finds a way to recapture the board. So now we're going to use Honor Arc's effect, and we're going to detach 2 of my Yosenjus in order to take his Kaiju and add it to my hand, or my side of the field. And therefore now we've got a board which is really nicely set up, 2 big monsters, quite even in attack, and we're going to see if my opponent can top deck into something, and he won't be able to, and he is about to surrender. Good game to you, John the Bomb. Really great game, dude. And if anyone wants to play against me or him, and that's the PSN. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Take care.